Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, airport security around the country strengthened to detect drugs and illegal weapons. We've got the details, so stay tuned.
A Bahamian icon is celebrated.
And on track, the running surface gets ready for the World Relays. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The proliferation of guns and drugs entering the country, a concern for Minister of Transport and Aviation, Glenys Hannah Martin. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
And I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks for joining us. The Aviation and Transport Minister told ZNS News today that steps are being taken to safeguard our ports of entry, more specifically at the airports throughout the country. Janaea Noel Ferguson breaks down the concerns and initiatives the government has put in place.
Police have had success in capturing drug traffickers who attempt to smuggle guns and drugs into the country. Most recently, a male trio, which included 2 pilots coming into the Bahamas from Canada, was hauled before the courts after attempting to bring in a significant amount of illegal drugs. 3 men believed to be coming in from Jamaica were also caught on a boat with bags of marijuana. A concern was also recently raised by law enforcement that the introduction of a Panama flight to the Bahamas more than a year ago could be possibly contributing to the increase of this illegal practice. It's a concern also shared by Minister of Transport and Aviation, Glenys Hannah Martin.
It may be that at another level, at national security level, there may be some deeper inquiry into what the relationship between that flight out of Panama and the one into Nassau. But a lot of tourists come on that. There's a tourist market that's been opened, and so we don't want to mar that aspect of it with the few incidents. But I think that the critical thing is that the police are able to do their work, and I think they seem to be doing that effectively.
In recent times, Family Islands have been used more frequently to transport drugs. The aviation minister said airport security throughout the Family Islands has also been beefed up.
So recently, we installed security equipment in a number of airports to upgrade the security profile of those airports. More sophisticated walk-through metal detectors, walk-through machines, metal detectors, etc.
Meantime, she says it continues to be a combined effort to ensure that the illegal contraband turning up at various ports of entry do not end up on our streets.
We have security systems, and it may be, and the police have their own methodologies, and it may be because of that they've been able to have so many catches as these people come through with firearms and drugs. There've been a significant amount, and so if that's an indicator, then it's been highly successful in interdicting these things.
Hannah Martin says the security improvements are just a small part of the major upgrades set for the aviation sector in the coming months. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
It was a busy night for police as 5 people were shot in multiple instances, 1 fatal.
Police were from one scene to the next in a span of minutes. 3 separate locations, all young men. In the end, 4 of them seriously wounded and the other killed instantly.
Officers wasted no time apprehending the persons responsible for one of the shootings, and they say they're following several leads into the 2 other incidents.
We got a recap on the busy night from Clint Watson.
The bloodshed began around midnight when a man was killed instantly after he was shot to the chest. Police say the victim and another man were visiting a female friend near her Millennium Gardens home when a lone gunman walked up to them and fired several shots before running away. While the fatal shot was to the chest, the other man was critically injured when he was shot to the stomach, leg, and side.
Our investigation reveals that these men had gone into the Millennium Gardens area to take some food for a young lady. And they had stopped outside and were standing waiting for her to come and get the food when a male walked up to them, produced a handgun, and just began discharging shots in their direction.
Head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Rowe, believes the persons involved in this matter may have known each other. About 5 minutes after this incident, police were called to a double shooting in the Hollywood subdivision near Silver Gates Estates off Cowpen Road, where they met two men suffering from gunshots. One of the new police recruits was having a party when a white Escalade pulled up and the occupants reportedly tried to get inside. There was an alleged exchange of words between the car's occupants and party patrons. That's when one of the men in the car pulled out a gun and opened fire on the patrons. One of the victims, a prison officer, was shot to the leg, and the other, a 19-year-old, was shot to his side and stomach. Police say they believe the suspect resides in Pinewood Gardens and know who they're looking for. Then from Cowpen Road, police learned that an off-duty police officer was robbed. Investigations revealed that the officer and a friend had just arrived home in Hampshire Drive, Cable Beach, from a function. He had left his vehicle at the friend's residence, and as he was about to go to his vehicle, he noticed a male running toward him with a ski mask and pointing a gun toward him. The robber demanded cash. The officer turned over $130. However, the robber wasn't satisfied and placed a gun to the other man's head, demanding more cash. He reportedly did not have any cash. The bandit became irate and attempted to shoot the male. That's when the officer, who was off duty, pulled his weapon from the holster. There was an exchange of gunfire, but the officer wasn't hit. However, the assailant was hit multiple times. The man then ran back to a Honda Accord that was waiting and escaped. He dropped his 9mm pistol in the process. Police, however, didn't stop there. They were successful in locating the suspect at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
This is a 32-year-old male that was taken into custody along with a female immigration officer who was driving the vehicle at the time.
Now, over the coming days and weeks, police will be working to bring to conclusion these investigations. They're also asking for your assistance. If you know anything that can help them bring to conclusion these particular matters, particularly the one in Cowpen Road and, of course, the one in Millennium Gardens, they want you to call them anonymously or call them at any police station. They want to bring closure to these matters and bring the persons responsible to justice. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Now, Central Detective Unit officials confirmed that around noon today, flying squad officers arrested a 21-year-old male resident of Pinewood Gardens, and around 2 p.m., a 23-year-old male resident of Coral Harbor turned himself into CDU. Both men were sought by police in connection with the double shooting on Cowpen Road.
In court news tonight, a 22-year-old Bahamian man appeared in the magistrate's court where he was charged for a December 2013 murder. Dominic Lorfils of Peardale was not required to enter a plea to the charge. It's alleged that Lorfils, who, while concerned with another, did unlawfully and intentionally cause the death of Ronaldo Stubbs. The case will proceed by way of voluntary bill of indictment, and the matter was adjourned to June 3rd. Lorfils was represented by attorney Ty Pinder. Exuma police, with help from Drug Enforcement Unit officers, arresting 70-year-old Looms Wheeler of Florida in Georgetown this past Saturday. He's a wanted United States fugitive who was charged with numerous sexual offenses and later fled to the Bahamas. Wheeler is wanted for 9 counts of capital sexual battery and 3 counts of sexual performance by a child. The Florida resident is presently being held for a breach of the Immigration Act and is pending deportation to the United States. Well, coming up, a cultural giant is honored.
And workers get ready for the World Relays. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.